Good morning, everybody. How are you all? Happy Saturday to all of you. As you'll notice, I've dropped the green screen. That's just because I get morning light in my window on Saturday, and it apparently doesn't play nice with the screen that I have. So I didn't want to fight with that all morning. So I just dropped it for now. But welcome back for some more hackmud. Xylox.boot. I really do need that. Consume coffee. Absolutely. Good morning, Smork. I'm going to consume some more right now, actually. Oh. 9 a.m. It doesn't matter. Mornings are always terrible, and I hate them. Okay, so what are we doing today? We left off with some funky Tier 3 corporation stuff. Seems like the next thing we need to do is this. What Flux suggested here helps to automate inspecting calendar entries on these on this flow thing or whatever is going on here. So we need to write some code. I think it's going to be pretty simple from here. So we're actually going to have to run through all of this again to get the user and the pin, because likely what we found last time is long gone for now. So we will start on that. So there's a regex that we're going to be able to pull from here. So when we get the response, I don't think we need to log that anymore. Instead, here at this point, response will contain the menu. Actually, I don't know if there's any variation in the menu, so maybe before we do that, we might have to write code to parse the menu. So let's just return response here once we get to this point, just so we can see what the menu looks like for another Tier 3 corp. So let's go grab one. Show.npcs. We'll do core.private because I don't think we did that one before. Oh, we got to switch over to my exploration user here. All right. So what was our script called again? T3 scrape. Nope, T3 scrape. And our target is going to be this. That should just start working, I think. It'll go as long as it can anyway. Okay. Wow, it did 157 pins in the first attempt. That's really good. That's really good. We'll let that auto away until it cracks it. How are you today, Smork? How's your week? Hopefully this doesn't take like all 10,000 attempts. I just feel like I need to bring up Minesweeper or something while I'm waiting on this part. Oh, especially when this happens. So this is that's the actual hackmud lagging. It's going all right though. It's a hell of a lot faster than the first attempt. This is doing the minimum required decorruption, our new limited decorruption, which I may leverage in a few other places as well when I'm just looking for like a certain part of a string to be uncorrupted. There's also actually some room for optimization there too, because if I grab just the section that I'm looking for out of the string, probably on 2 attempts, even if they're both corrupted. As long as they're not corrupted in the same spot, I could resolve the answer that I want with just those 2 responses and potentially save me even further iterations. I might actually write that down while we're doing this. Where is our limited decorruption? So I can put a to-do here. To-do. Resolve the decorrupted text between successive attempts instead of just waiting for the whole fingers are still asleep section to be clean, I guess. Just gotta wait. I can't believe how long the tier 3 scraping is, like compared to tier 1 and tier 2. I can't think of any way to make this faster. You have to make 10,000 maximum 10,000 attempts. That's brutal. I don't know if you can do this. Distribute it among bot brains. So a bot brain could use so I get to do approximately 100, it looks like, pins per run, right? So the bot brains could also leverage a continuation token. There's no reason they couldn't. The only problem is if they can only do 100 per run, they have to do 100 runs, right? Because there's 10,000. So even if I had 10 bots, it would take, like, they would each have to do 10 runs, and at the fastest is 17 minutes. It takes 170 minutes potentially to crack a pin, even spread out amongst 10 bots with a really low cooldown. Okay, good thing we checked, because not only is the keyword different, it's work, but the sections are different also. So it seems that that was worth the time investment. All right, so what that means is we have to parse this response before we can move on to the next step of reading the calendar, because we don't actually know what the calendar is. And we have to deal with this being corrupted also. I mean, one of the entries are corrupt. I wonder if it's always the 4th entry on the bottom right. I'm gonna guess it might not be. So what we can do is, well, we'll see what we can do here. But we will need to, okay, so that's looking for user, that's looking for pin. Okay, so this is important that we figure this out. Note, menu options and navigation key are not always the same, so we have to figure that out too. So the first thing we have to do is parse the menu and find the key and options, I guess. I wonder if it's always reviews I wonder if it's always option that requires passphrase at the top left, and then it'd only be feasible when you have 100 bots. Yeah, it'd really only be feasible if I had 100 bots. Even 50 and they all run twice, but that still is like, that's a lot of GC to spend on cracking a tier 3, on scraping a tier 3 corporation. This might be something that I could do in automation. On each rotation, I could have each user execute one batch of scraping, right? So they go, they crack, they leave their hard line, they go and execute something on the scraping, just one loop, and then they move on. And the next, because as long the continuation token gets saved on the script owner's database, right? So they could all just call into my library user to do the scraping, and when it finds the pin, it could keep going, I guess. It could scrape them all into a database. I'm not sure though. We're far away from that anyway, because I don't have any automation. I don't even know how to breach these tier 3 NPC either, so yeah, anyway, it's possible, not sure. Okay, so we gotta parse the menu and find both the key and the options. So the response, actually what I want to do here is I want to stringify the response so that I can see what it actually looks like. Did I? Oh, I have to up it. Okay, so it's one string with new lines. So I'll want to split it. So we're going to response equals response.split on new lines. And then we will want the, I can't remember if split has a remove empty entries. Oh no, it doesn't, right? We just filter it ourselves. Filter where X is X, I think. Does that do it? Let's see. Whoops, I don't want to bring that up with Alt-Tab. It does. Okay, excellent. So, like, these can be fairly corrupt. Like, that's very corrupt. So, I don't think I've yet seen the key be corrupt. You know what I could do? I could just auto this a little bit longer and see what kind of corruption we're looking at. Yep, every line can be corrupt. So I might actually want to use my old decorruption for this one specifically, and not the limited decorrupt. So we're gonna call this one, I don't know, limit E, and then we're gonna put our old E back here, and it's not going to have any indexes, and it's going to do the old decorrupt method. Right? This is the old one? Yep. Okay. Man. Yeah, that's rough. Alright, so once we find it, once we find the pin, we'll have to call it again. There's not really anything that we can do about that. So if we just call E there, pin found, EQ is not a function. It doesn't like this. What went wrong? Have utils. I have a try catch. Oh no, that is what's happening here. So the problem is it's not going to tell me. All right, I think I have to go back to no minify for this. Ooh, getting close to the limit. Tell me what the actual response.split is not a function. Response.split is not a function, and that is because it's coming back as just a string now. Without new lines? Okay. Oh, I think it's going to come back as an array. I think my decorruption returns it as an array of lines. Because again, I built that one specifically for the QR codes. It's an array of one line. Okay, so I should be able to do that. That's nice and clean. Actually, that's interesting because it apparently decorrupted a J. Does that mean that this menu option is something real? Is there something actually under there? I don't think so, because the lowercase o doesn't sound right to me. Also, it apparently doesn't always spell it correctly. Wow. So my decorruption is not 100% on this either. So 4 calls is not enough to decorrupt this. I decorrupted a color code. I think sometimes as we saw like up here, sometimes the corruption actually creates a character. So it's not necessarily the color code, as it is the corruption contains non-corruption characters. See there? There's just a B. I think it's just it's quite corrupt. So it might be better actually to. I'm trying to think. We need to know this option. So I have 2 options here. I can use my limited decorruption on each one of these items, right? So that I just call it repeatedly until I get those items. We're already using continuation tokens. Or I could try to farm all the possible options, because I imagine like calendar only has like a fixed, it's like the usernames, right? There's a fixed list of the options that are available that it picks from every time it generates the corporation. So I could just do all of them, right? Is this, there's something else I need to check here. So Oh, unfortunately, what I should be doing here is logging G. I should log G here, I think. Log G. That'll at least tell me what parameters I'm using on successive runs. Because I want to... Oh, I'm not returning logs. Log response, return the logs. Log JSON dot hold on. JSON stringify G. And then this one is logging the array. I suppose there's nothing wrong with that, actually, because like that is a lot cleaner to get entries for if I ignore all the dashes. So I may just leave it like that for the moment. I am getting extremely close to my character limit though, so I might have to load another char count. So we have a V. Yeah, I don't know if that's right though, because it was a B here. So we have a V and a U. I don't think so. I don't think that one's a real option. Do you know for a fact, Smork, that this is a real fourth option? V something something J something U something. You've heard people talk about brooding it. So I mean, I'm basically doing that, right? So close that for a sec. Let's just check, since we're already here, right? We know it's how many characters long? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have possibly V as a first one, and U as the second to last. Up here we had a J as the fourth character. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why does it keep saying pin found? It shouldn't be getting into this loop. Am I saving pin found to my token? I am. Am I loading it from my token? I am. Why is it coming in here? If pin's not found, log pin found, set pin found to true. Oh, you know what I should do? I should save the continuation token on a success as well. I should do that. Also for consistency's sake. Fuck. All right. see if I have any extra char counts sitting around. None here. I have some here, but I don't think this character is actually using any scripts. Not really. So I could just unload one of these. Am I saving it? Saving what? Smart, or were you talking about that token for the pin? Yeah, the pin, yeah. I am saving the pin. I'm not saving the flag. Actually, maybe I'm not saving the last pin either. Because it was only saving before if I timed out. So that might be a small bug, and that might be why it's taking so long. This will fix it though. Timeout. Oh, it's because I have a... if no notify. So it'll do this by default. And then here I want... oh, it doesn't really matter, I guess. Yeah, we'll just call it notify. If notify, then this. I want false for these, and I want true for these. False here, true. Okay. That's better. So it says continuing, just lists out the values of my object that I'm using, and then the options. So I think it has to be an uppercase letter for it to be correct here. So we're going to see if we can suss out any more letters. There's a V and an X in there, and a Q. So we already thought that the second to last letter was U, though. Now it's Q for some reason. So I have a feeling no. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one doesn't even have the same number of letters. One of them came out as a space. XQE. XUE. What word starts with a V and ends with XQE or XUQ or something? I don't think this is a real option. I think people have maybe talked about brute forcing this. I don't think they're going to get a real option. I don't know why the first letter is always V. See, there it's F. N. Is it V or is it F? V, that has to be a vowel. Venge. No. I don't think that. I don't think it is. I think that's going to take us off track here. Okay. Forget that. All right, so let's start a list of these. What should I have here? I suppose I should have a list of keys nav keys. Actually, I think finding the nav key is the best. When I said they try to root it, it's just trying all letters. Oh. Yeah, forget that. I'm not doing that. Okay, so parsing the... Alright. So I'm going to go back to using limit E here. So I want the nav key to be equal to limit E and the slice of this string that I want. Oh, look at this. It's not corrupt, but it's also not correct. WABC. WCRK. Fuck. So I think we have to have a list of nav keys, and we have to try them ourselves. Nav keys. So we had, what was the one that we had down here? Perform. And work. So we're gonna have to build that list out. I don't think we have much of a choice there, because decorrupting is also not guaranteed to give us a correct answer. I suppose we could decorrupt it and then try it until it works. Right? Like, what happens if I do... Okay, so let's take these. And I go WABC. Alright, what happens if I do it correct, but with an empty work? It says nothing. If I do WCRK, though, what does it do? Nothing. So what I have to do is almost... Well, I don't know what I did there. So it's always lowercase. If I do WCRK, it'll probably just give me the menu again. Okay. Trying to think. Programmatically, I could do trial and error, but then I need at least the first menu option, and the first menu option may be corrupt also. Oh man. So the decorruption here, the decorruption method here doesn't work, of just getting it multiple times until you don't get a corruption character, because the text is also being corrupted now with alphanumeric characters. If it's corrupt, though, its color code gets broken. So I could check to make sure that the color code is still there. I need to get it 4 times and take the most occurring characters. Ooh. That's a significant change to my current decorruption. I just get the first character. I need to get the average character. The chance that it'll be corrupt 2 times on the same space is minimal. what kind of options do I get here for work? I wanna see the key, the navigation key, get corrupted again here. Come on. It doesn't seem to have a very high corruption, but that could just be a coincidence. Like, that one has a corruption character in it, so it definitely would have been flagged. So does that one. So does that one. Okay, maybe my problem was that I was decoloring it. Okay, so maybe my limited decorruption can look to see if there are it'll always be lowercase alpha characters. I think that's my assumption right now. I've only seen 2 of them though, but I could check for regex to make sure that it is in the format that I'm expecting. So backtick, a character, some number of alpha characters, lowercase alpha characters only, and a closing backtick. And if there's anything else that's not in that order, retry, right? Because that's the form that I'm expecting. So I could, man, yeah, it's going to be backtick N work in this case, or, you know, perform, or whatever the keyword is, and then a backtick. So it needs to always be in that form, and if it's not in that form, it's a corrupt key. So the rough part is I'm trying to think of ways to not have to do this in so many calls. I would like to have the whole thing decorrupted. So if I regex, backtick a character, right? Any character, because that'll be a color code. Let's write this regex. What do I want? The regex is going to be backtick any character. Sorry, I should say backtick and an A to Z 0 to 9. Right? Just one of them. Then a number of A to Z only. Right? One or more. and then a backtick. That's the form that it should take. Always. Actually, that's the form that they should all take. Right? So if I apply this regex, I should get, maybe not even get core. I will get the navigation key and then the 3 menu options if they're not corrupted. So I should have 4 results in this group set. I need a space also. That's correct. To pick up the menu option, I need a space. No. Shit. So I may need a different variation for the menu options. This will give me the nav key. Because, yeah, it's org space chart. I need to have a more complicated... This could pick up menu options. But I think I should just do a regex to get the nav key first, because the nav key has less variation. It's always going to be lowercase, and there's not going to be any spaces in the nav key, because you can't have spaces in a key. So let's do this one first, because this should just be one match, right? So if I execute this on the response, where does the response come back from this? I limit E, this gives me this. So while this dot exec, no, I have to execute first. Let nav key equal this. Does that do what I want it to do here? Cannot read property 0 of undefined. Oh, because this is now not an array. Can't read property split of undefined. Response is undefined. Why did that happen? Because I'm not calling this anymore. Okay. So I need to just call E here. I don't think this will work. I don't think I've called this limit. Okay. Have that come back. Try that. Okay. Nav key is null there. It should have been work. So why is that? Because I'm splitting it. I don't want to split it either. Still null. Okay, so let's take this response here over to regex. And let's go take my nav here. Except this should be, are backticks a special character? No. Like, if this were backtick n backtick, then it does find it. So why is it not finding it there? G, set the type to JavaScript. Where do I set the type? Don't return? No, I do want to return. after the first match. I don't know where to set the type to JavaScript. Here? Like, it should have found it. So, is it not question mark? Oh, that's why. I used the wrong symbol. It should be plus. One or more. Question mark is 0 or 1. That was my bad. Yeah. That's my bad. Okay, so that works now. It is colored, however. So I want to decolor this response. So, however, this could come back as... what will this come back as if it doesn't match it? Capture only, yeah. So I can decolor this. I have a decolor function. However, I need to make sure that it's not some kind of partial keyword match because corruption made it still readable. Hey, Jorstar, how's it going? Good morning. So I need to, ideally what I would do here is I would loop until I get a correct response here. But I think what I want to do is I know that this always comes back on the second element of this. So I think what I want to do is I always want to do this because I want the key on that line always. And then I can run this on auto. I don't need to decolor if I only capture the second square. That's true. Jorstar, you're tired? Yeah, same. The stupid thing is I slept enough last night. I'm still tired as hell this morning. What am I trying to get? The nav key, because the nav key can be corrupted. And we're also figuring out that tier 3 corruption can include alphonyms. So sometimes it's like it doesn't have a corruption character, but it's still corrupted. So I was getting like WCRK instead of WORK. Yeah, Smork, yeah. I could capture the group from this, absolutely. But I have to know that this isn't, like, what I'm going to do here. So the nav key would be this. This is going to return an array of results, I think. I still have to make sure that this is not going to, the plus needs to be inside. Oh, yeah, you're right. I still need to make sure that this is actually going to return. So still returned the, I think it's 1 then for the match. Group 0 is usually the whole thing, right? Yeah, okay. So I'm going to auto this. I'm going to make sure that this is always coming back consistently correct. The keyword, then like the navigation key doesn't appear to get corrupted as often as the menu options. Oh, there, see? Yeah, Jorstar, it is work that we're trying to get. But the problem is that regex can capture a corrupt value too. So how do we know W's not the keyword programmatically? Right? Because the regex found a match, W. But the whole thing was corrupted. Include the new line. Yeah, that could do it. So I could include an anchor at the start and end of this, right? start of a line, backtick immediately, backtick and then end of the line immediately. That might work. I need it to be corrupted to test this. Oh, hey, Trilator, welcome in. This is your first time catching me live. You found my streams on YouTube by accidentally clicking on the hackmud Discord. You proceeded to binge my YouTube content. And you think of getting back into hackmud now? Well, first of all, that's awesome. Thank you for coming in and catching me live. That is, I think you're the first person to find me from YouTube. So thank you for that too. You're thinking of getting back into hackmud now. When was the last time you played hackmud? This is my first time playing hackmud. So for me, this is all brand new. George Star, what about you want any character? What's the question mark equal dollar gonna do on the regex? Call me LG. Oh, hey. Hi. You found me on YouTube also. That's awesome. Okay. So, Trilator, I don't know which one of you two. You'll have to fight to the death, I think, is the only option you have there for that claim. But welcome in, both of you. Thank you very much for coming in. Auto broke, so I terminated auto there, Smart, just because I was engaging on chat. Oh, that's the positive look ahead for the end of the line. Positive look ahead for the end of the line. How? That looks like it's going to match all characters though, Jorstar, I think. Like you've got dot end of the string. I'm just going to put this back on auto here. And I need to see work get corrupted. I'm hoping that what it'll do is it'll throw an exception because I don't have it'll give me like index out of bounds. That's what I'm hoping, because it'll have no group results on that regex. There, yeah, perfect. That's perfect. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. And the great thing is that was a corruption that would have matched previously. So I think I'm good. Trilator, you first played hackmud in October 2016. Oh, snap. That was the year it came out, isn't it? That's crazy. I think a lot has changed from my understanding. A lot has changed from back then. So I think it'd be worth it coming back, honestly. It might feel like a brand new game. I don't know. I don't know how much has changed. So what I want here, I want a nav result, and then I can have a loop here, right? While nav result dot length is less than 2, because I want a 0 and a 1, then I can repeat. I can repeat this, do E, and then repeat this. This might be better as an infinite for loop with a break condition, I think. I think this will be better if I do it as an infinite. Do for this way. I'm gonna have I'm gonna do it this way. Let nav result equal this. I'm going to do E. I'm going to do if. No, I'm going to do E. I'm going to do this. Shit. Then do this. Okay, so I won't need these. Do E, do this. Nav result is going to equal to that. If the nav result dot length is, I guess greater than or equal to 2, then I can do nav key. Equal nav result at 1, and then break. Break. And then I should be able to log nav result here. That should do the minimum required number of times to get me the nav key. TriLoader, from what you can see, a lot has changed. Hardlines and lock stacks were unlimited back then. Oh, that sounds harsh. There are like a whole bunch of new, like what was the highest tier for you, TriLoader, back when you played? I think it's 4 now. Joestar, I want to declare a nav result outside the loop. I can't. Is it just bad form to declare it in here? Because this is what I want. I want to save the index of nav result. This works, okay. All right. So let's just run this once to make sure. T3 scrape. Make sure that this is going to give us the keyword still. Undefined. Response is undefined. That's fine. It's not helpful, but that's fine. I suppose I could log response here. But that will give me the last response, not each response. That's fine, I think. Let's check. LED is block scoped. Yeah. So I just don't know if that's bad form in JavaScript, I guess. Because like redeclaring, oops. Now, unfortunately, because I didn't log, what I should do is I should log the response here, because I don't know what it did there. If nav result returned null, so it must have been extremely corrupt. So if nav result and nav result.length, right? That should do it. TriLoader, you only got to the beginning of tier 2 yourself. You're not sure what the max was. So yeah, like I'm working on tier 3 now, but I think I'm not looking forward to the Sean encryption, I guess, that I have to figure out for the result of all of this work, because I don't know anything about encryption. Encryption is very math heavy and my math sucks, so that's not going to be great. All right, let's let this auto for a little bit just to make sure. Okay, that one was good and it did a retry. It doesn't get corrupt very often. I need like a hold music. When we do stuff like this, I need to play some elevator music or something. There's another one that was corrupt and it figured it out. There's another one that was corrupt and it figured it out. Okay, I think we're good. Oh, that was a good one. That was a good test right there. So it was corrupt 3 attempts in a row, and it still figured it out. All right, I think we're good. So that is just to get the navigation key. Fuck. We're gonna have to do something similar though to this to get the menu options as well. But the menu options have a slightly different set of circumstances because it's a pipe, right? So it is a pipe and then a color-coded upper or lowercase letters, including spaces. Now, again, we only have 2 sets of data to go off of, so there's a possibility that we'll come across something later on that makes us have to expand these rules. Something in my eyeball. But we should be able to apply a very similar regex to the menu options to get them as well. And we will be expecting 3 results from this. So we call the minimum number of times to get the navigation key. Then we're going to call this until we get 3 results. So this is the interesting thing. One of these could be corrupt and the other 2 might not be. So if we apply a similar method, what we want to do is we want to have 3 results. Like I almost want to have let options, I guess, equal a 3-string array, and we fill them in as we find them uncorrupted, and then once options contains 3 non-empty strings, then we bail our loop. So sometimes we may get all 3 menu options on the first shot, which would be awesome. But then other times we might get options 1 and 3, but the second one will be corrupt. So we'll save options 1 and 3, make another call and get option 2, and then be done. Instead of needing all 3 to be uncorrupted at the same time or calling until we can figure out all 3 at the same time in the same shot, if that makes sense. So how best to do this? I think very similar to this one, but not quite the same. So what we want is 0, 1, 2, so 3, 4, 5, and 6. So elements 3 and 6 will contain our menu options. I should try to get the nav options on the first loop, I'm assuming, is what you meant to type. Type there, Smork. That way I use less calls. I should try to get as many as I can on the first. I should try to get as many as I can on every call. But I think I have to figure out how to get them first before I work on optimizing the number of calls. It's early for you. That's okay. So I'm not really too concerned about having to make 1 or 2 extra calls, because remember, getting the pin is like 200, right? Like off the bat, we'll have to run this like 200 times already just to get the pin. So what's another 3 times to get the menu options? I don't think it really matters that much at that point. We do have to do something though here, and that is in every one of these loops we have to have a bailout call for timing out, because this is going to get the pin and then immediately flow into the next step, which could then time out. So we need a bool for nav found as well. Nav key found equals false. And I guess I need nav key itself. because we're not going to store this in G with the rest of the stuff. So we're going to do nav key equals ct.nav key, and we're going to do nav found. Actually, I don't think we need a found if we're going to do it that way. Nav key just needs to not be empty, or undefined, I suppose is probably better. So nav key equals ct.nav key. CT might not have a nav key in it. That's fine, it'll remain undefined then. Nav key is nav key. We don't need to let it here anymore. We will have if not nav key. I think that should work. Okay. We have to break out of this loop. First of all, we have to save the continuation token as soon as we find the nav key, like that. Then we'll break. We also need to detect if we are going to run out of time. Okay. Just thinking. Jorstar, you're about ready to test your chat client. Cool. Just start dumping stuff into dumping chats out into a window or something? Or is this with the full Discord integration? Just to see if it works, you still need to do exceptions. Timeout exceptions, I think, is going to be the most... Timeout exceptions, I think, is going to be the most common that you'll get. Or throttling. I don't know if the chat API throttles you. This is an API client that pulls the chat. Yeah, but you can only make like so many calls per second, right? Or per minute. Do 2 calls per minute? I don't know. I don't know anything about the chat API. I know there's throttling. Alright, so I want indexes 3 and 6 for this and this. You do a call every 2 seconds. You should still handle throttling though. You still handle a throttling exception, even if you don't get it. Fastest you can do is every 700 milliseconds. The fastest the API will allow you to do is every 700 milliseconds, or the fastest that you can get your code to do it is 700 milliseconds. The fastest the API allows. 1 call every 700 milliseconds. That's kind of a strange interval. Oh, thanks, Mark. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, my back. Oh. That's just for the chat endpoint, 700 milliseconds. Alright. So let's do indexes 3 and 6 here. The trick is going to be doing it the way that I said, where we just populate the options 1, 2, and 3 as we find them. So we'll start with this. We'll start with this. Hi. Hi, sweetheart. Sorry, I have to pet my cat. It's very important. It's one of the things I love about working from home now. I love my animals. Alright, so let's just see. I forgot the E here. Let's just see what we get without the loop first. So I have response.split all of these. Yeah, I'll be able to reuse these calls and stuff. This is just getting it to work. This is getting it to work. So option result is going to equal this. I want to response.3 and response 6. I want to apply this to response.3 plus response at 6 maybe. So this will be a color followed by this and spaces, except that's not true either now, because what it's going to be is a pipe, one or more spaces. This is a lot harder to figure out. It's going to be the start of the line, a pipe, one or more spaces, a color-coded alpha string that could be capitals only. It's not capitals only, because I think on our previous attempt we saw menu options that weren't. I thought, maybe not. Or I saw flow with like a capital F and a lower LOW. I can't remember what we saw in the last stream. Was flow all uppercase? Does someone want to go and check? Someone go check last stream what it looked like? So, and then it'll be followed by one or more spaces, a pipe, like this, and the end of the string. I think the pipe needs to be escaped, though. Maybe not. Pipe is a special character, isn't it? Well, we'll see. And I want to do /G on this, because I want this as a group. That's a rough, compared to this one, that's a bit of a rougher regex. So this should give me between 1 and 3 results. Ooh. How do I know that the result is the first or the third one? I think I might have to do R101 it. Yeah, like, so certainly I can do that, just to test. These aren't color-coded, so I have to get rid of this section. Okay, so that does work. The only problem is if I do something like that, it gives me org. I would have thought the last pipe would make this not a match. Right? I want a pipe. So how come it does that? I think what I'll have to do is I'll actually have to split these by pipe. I don't think I can take the responses just like that. I think I have to split them into an array, get rid of the empty results first, and then check each result. Because that way I'll have four. I'll have an array of 4 elements, which will be whatever's in between those pipes. Then I can check elements 1, 2, and 3. I think that's better. So I need to take response 3. Add 3. Split by pipe. That's not a pipe. Filter out the empty elements. So this is option parts, I guess I'll call this. And then I'll do option parts equals option parts dot concat. And then I'll do this, but with 6. And then we'll log that just to see what that looks like. You would do the options different. How would you do them? This gives me my 3 elements plus the corrupted one as an array. However, I want them to be empty. Filter where X, so this doesn't filter out the empty ones because so there's no point doing that, I don't think, because that's still giving me empty entries. So I can probably get rid of that and deal with the empty entries separately. Nope, that does still give me some empty entries. Filter where X dot trim. Right? Maybe that'll do it. Perfect. You would do a regex match, so you get them as an array to begin with. So the reason why I'm doing it this way, Jorstar, is because I want to know so if calendar is always in the bottom left, I want to know if the one that I found is calendar or not, so I can keep track of it. I don't just want like the ones that are uncorrupted, because I may capture them in the wrong order, and then I won't know which one is calendar and which one's org chart or whatever. So I want to make sure that I retain their order as I'm filtering them. Now that I've got them in that order, I'm going to do the regex on each element and find the uncorrupted ones, but I can save them in their correct location in my options array. That's my goal here anyway. Okay, so now, because now I can apply the regex to these. I don't know why they're not trimming here either. I split and then I trim them. They don't look trimmed. They still have spaces. So I want to take the spaces off of these. Right? I want to do... Why isn't trim doing what I'm expecting it to do here? Without leading and trailing spaces. Why is it not doing that? It's supposed to trim all of them. It's filtering them. Oh, because it's a filter. I need to map trim, not in the filter. So I think what I want to do is both, right? I want to map X, where I want to trim each one, and then I want to filter the empty ones out. I think that's what I want to do, right? Yeah. Whoops, I keep alt tabbing that. Bring that back up. Awesome. Okay, that's better. Yeah, all right. So we've got an ad coming up, so I'm going to go and use a bathroom, stretch my legs. I'm going to get some water. And I will be back in a few minutes. All right? That's not what I wanted to do. That's funny because apparently that overrides my be right back. So it's good that you did that. I'll have to figure out how to fix that later. That's funny. Alright, I'll be right back. This time, for real. Alright, I'm back. Thank you for waiting. Hey, Hactics. Welcome in. How you doing? It is hackmud time. I think one of the things I have to figure out is how to pause the that wasted redemption when I'm away from the keyboard. I'll be right back, and someone will just get a picture of my empty chair. Wasted. I don't know. Maybe you want that. Jorstar, you feel like these three options are always the same, so getting them from the response is useless. I feel like it's quite likely that these options are going to be farmable the way that usernames are. Like, I could have calendar keys, calendar values, right? But I don't have that data, so like I have to scrape them. Yeah, Smork, exactly. They might always be the same, but we have to scrape them. The output looks the same as last time. It's absolutely not. Last time it was flow was the calendar name, and synergize was the org chart, and enhance was reviews. So they weren't the same, but we could start building it, right? Like calendar values, there was flow, and now there's calendar, and we could do the same thing with like, I don't know what the other one was called, because I don't know what's in there yet, because I haven't broken through. So I don't actually know what to call that variable. And then we have usernames, what, coworker values, maybe I should call these menus. Calendar menus, coworker menus, and hidden menus. And this one we had synergize, and then org space chart. And here we have enhance and reviews. Why is hidden menus? Oh, like this. That's why. So we honestly, once we have enough of these, there's got to be a fixed number of these. It's not just going to be, hopefully, random words that they draw from. That would be awful. So hopefully there's a fixed number for all of these as well, and then yeah, we don't have to do any of this scraping and decorrupting. But until then, unfortunately, we do. Okay, so option parts looks like the way that I want it to look now, with 4 elements. So now we should be able to exec this, a modified version of this, on each option part. And modified version of this. So a color code, a beginning of the string, a color code, something that may or may not have spaces in it, the end of the color code, and the end of the string.
Look at us. Hey, look at us.
Look at us.
Huh?
Oh,
Who would've thought?
Hactics!
Not me.
Thank you for your Prime subscription. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So I'll probably save this. Maybe I should start calling them menus, actually, instead of this. Menu parts. Menu parts. That's a bit better. Not menu. Menu. You just remembered you had Prime? Well, I appreciate you using your Prime to subscribe to my channel, so thank you. And if anyone else here has an unused Prime, that would be awesome. If you subbed with your Prime too, I would greatly appreciate that, but there's no pressure to either. Alright, so we'll have a menu regex, I guess. which will equal
Look at
this.
us. Hey, look at us.
Look at us.
Huh?
Who would have thought?
Not me.
Thank you. Wow, hype train. What the hell? That's very strange. But thank you, Call Me as well, for your Prime subscription. And there's a hype train going on, and I don't know even how to do anything with that hype train because I've never had a hype train before. But don't worry about it. let's just do this regex here. Okay. So you got menu regex. I want the G option on it. Then we'll do some kind of a loop here we'll have to do. We will loop through the options. Paying the user slot bills with Amazon money. That's true. Gotta pay them user slot bills. I'm almost at cap again. I wish there was an option to unlock some of them. I know that there was a brief discussion on the official Discord about that, having like a way of unlocking at least a limited number of them. But like if I ever wanted 100 users, I'm just gonna have to fork over the money. It's a subscription fee basically. It's a multiplayer game, right? All right, so we will do we'll do. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do actually is we're going to take the last option off of menu parts. How do I do that? I want to concat them. And then I guess I just, slice the last value off? There's a lot of stuff going on here. Menu parts.concat. This.split. Blah, 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 blah. And then I want to slice. Splice? Is it splice? Start removing elements, -1. And remove one element. That should get rid of the last one, I think, right? Well, I'll have to fix this up so that this actually is compilable. Nope, that's the wrong way. Huh? Removes elements. Returns an array of the elements that were deleted. So does this modify in place then? Do I... splice everything except for the last one? That's better, okay. So now I can test each one. I want to do this until I have 3 non-corrupted results, right? So what I actually want to do is... oh, that's not true. I want to loop until all 3 of these entries are not empty. That's a bit of a strange looping condition. How do I do that? I might have to write a function. Oh, no, hold on. If I do a loop, and my loop is menus.filter xx.length while the length is less than 3. I could do a while loop also. I think this is basically a while loop, but just WHILE. I save myself 2 characters. Oh, but then there's the semicolon, so maybe I don't. Okay, so while I have less than 3 non-empty entries in my menus array, I want to Well, let's just write it in an unoptimized fashion first. And maybe there's a way to optimize it after it's working. So if menus at 0 is empty, then if menus at 0 is empty, then attempt to get the I want to menu regex dot there's going to be a lot of repeating code here. I want to exec it on menu parts at 0. This could probably be a function because I think I'm going to do the same thing here. Ah, shit. This is a two-step process, right? Because I have to do the menu result. Menu result equals this, and then if menu result and menu result dot length is greater than 1, greater than or equal to 2. Shouldn't be. It should just be greater than 1. Then menu at 0 equals menu result at 1. This could be a function. So I'm just going to declare it right here in scope. So function get menu, I'm going to have an index. It's going to do this. Except this is going to be I. This is going to be I. This is going to be I. I'll do that there instead. I equals 0, I is less than 3, I plus plus. We're going to do get menu of I. Maybe log menus. This probably can go down here. Oh, something else I have to do is at the top of this, at the bottom of this, I have to call E. Because I need to call it. Hold on, I have to actually do this every time. So first of all, let's put this here. I have to do this every loop as well. So this will be get menu parts, I guess. So it'll call the endpoint, split the lines, log the response. This is just for us. Then it will split the parts out of it. It'll slice the bottom one off, splice the good ones out. and then log the parts that it found. What if a pipe character gets corrupted? Yep. We've seen that happen, haven't we? I think we have to run this function until we get exactly 4 results. So we don't do the splicing yet. We do get menu parts until we get exactly 4 results. Then we slice the last one off, right? I think that's the only way that we can do that. Because if we get one of the pipe characters corrupted on one of those lines, we won't get the right number of results. I hope. Oh God. I guess it could get really, really corrupted in a really weird way. That's like perfect storm-esque type of way. But to be honest, even my tier 1 and tier 2 scraping scripts aren't perfect. They occasionally just blow up and throw an exception because I got some really weird unparsable result. I'm willing to live with that. I'll just rerun it. So I think if we just do this in a loop until we get the number of responses that we're expecting, that will be probably good enough, like a 95% good enough. So get menu parts, that means that I'll have to let menu parts here. Menu parts this, menu parts that. I'll do while menu parts dot length is not equal to 4. I want 4. Then we'll do equals menu parts dot splice, and we'll splice the 3 elements off. That should hopefully result. In this while loop, that means in this while loop we got to do this: get menu parts, do the for loop for the 3 parts, and we do that whole thing until we have all 3 menus. Ooh. Okay, time to test. Yeah, that didn't work. Menu parts is not defined. I have to declare it outside, I think. Up here. I am blowing the previous response away every time I do this loop. That's okay. Okay. I should probably actually declare this down here just to make it clear what we're doing. The word menu, I'm getting the what's that term called? Somatic saturation. When you see a word or type a word too many times and it starts to lose its meaning. Menu doesn't look right anymore. Nope, still didn't work because menu singular is not defined. Where did I use menu singular? Here. Menus at I. So 2 things. One is, because we have another loop, we have to be able to support continuation. Actually, it shouldn't run so long that it needs a continuation itself, but certainly I should be saving it. I'm just going to put a to-do here for a second. To-do, save menu results in CT. I'll just put token. Save load menu results to from token. But something in here wasn't working correctly. While menu parts is not equal to 4, I think I just need to do this in here. If can continue, shit. One of these loops is running forever and it shouldn't be. So why would that be? Get menu parts is a while loop. It could run forever if menu parts is not equal to 4. To start with, it's not. It's equal to 0. Calls, splits it by new line, gets rid of the empty entries. Splits it by pipe, gets rid of the empty entries. Then it concats it with 6, splitting the pipes. I should have 4 entries. If I don't, one of the pipe characters was corrupted. Jorstar, can't you just do stir.match and then check if it has corruption? So Jorstar, the big barrier here in tier 3 is that we're noticing that corruption is not limited to the corruption characters. You can have corruption with an alpha character as well. Like you can have a letter B somewhere as a corruption character. It's not restricted to just the corruption array anymore. So it's a lot more complicated than just checking for that filter. We have to check to make sure the letter B is not corruption. It is if it's in the wrong spot. No, I don't mean your regex. I mean you can have any letter. You can have a corrupted character anywhere. Any character. The letter is when the color... No. Nope. That's not true, Jorstar. We've seen it actually just get corrupted with a letter somewhere in one of our responses up here, right? Like D. D is not the color code that got corrupted there. It's just the letter D. D is a color code also, but that's not the problem. Here, the color code character itself got corrupted. We've seen other corruption where just like a stray letter comes out, K. That's not the color code. V is not the color code there. It's just a corruption character. So it's a lot harder to figure out when something is corrupt. So that's why I'm trying to do like, I'm looking for 4 responses to come out of this. And that's how I'll know that I have the correct splitting. I want 4 elements to come out of my splitting. Then I'll check each one of those elements for corruption using a regex. But to get this splitting part, I have to, like what Smork said, right? What happens if the pipe gets corrupted? Trilater, check for less than 4. If I concat multiple entries at once, it might never get to 4 exactly. It should, because that's what we were seeing here, right? There should be 4 elements before we slice off the last one. That's what I was hoping to see. It might not be this loop. This loop might actually be fine. It might be this loop that's breaking, while the menus filtering out the empty entries length is less than 3. And then I go through all 3 menus there. I have to put some script timeout bails in here somewhere. You could just add AZ0 to 9 and get it anyway. Always get 4 answers. No, because spaces are included. Like org space chart. And there's spaces all over the place. They're surrounded by spaces also. So It's not that simple. I have to trim the exterior spaces off first, and then include spaces in my regex. It's like, this is tough. It's not just, you can't just throw one regex at this whole menu and then get all the options. It doesn't work. We tried that before. Like, it's possible I could have like a friggin' 100 character long regex that does it all, but it will be unreadable to me, and then that's not going to help me for maintaining the script later on. I want to be able to, I'd rather have like if loops and string splitting and stuff, because it makes it more human readable for Xylox. I am not fluent in regex. Joestar, your regex appears to be far more advanced than mine, and for that I credit you. Like, that's great. But I'm just not there, unfortunately. My skill level with regex is not there. So my regexes have to be a little simpler, just for my benefit, so I can read them still. So yeah, this is getting, it's sloppy, right? This code is sloppy, but it's a work in progress. I do not care about it being optimal right now. I just need to figure out how to get into that other friggin' menu option. So that's why I'm trying to just power through this stage. So while it's less than 4, Trilater, I think you suggested less than 4. We can try that and see if that helps. I think I have to add some script timeout checks in here and then just bail early, because I need to be able to see some of this progress. I don't know where it's choking. I suspect it's choking in here, so I'm gonna do that check in here. This is my suspicion. Nope, not 5,500. I'm gonna break, and then I'll just log what I captured. So I'm not sure why it's not stopping, because what am I logging here? This is weird. So it might be this while loop that's having the problem. So it's supposed to set menus at the matching index, which is this one. It's supposed to set it. No! Fuck. Hey, Murloc. How's it going? Caught me just in time to see some stupid fucking typo. I keep doing that. I keep putting a single or double equals in the wrong spot. See, that's funny. The first attempt, it should have actually found it, so it did a second attempt for some reason, even though it didn't need to. So why did it do... why did it do... While it's less than 4, let's get rid of that one. Maybe. So yeah, something funny happened there. Maybe that was just my logging. No, it's doing it too many times. The first shot there, reviews org chart calendar, should have worked. Typos, the silent killer. Not when I do them. very vocal about my typos. I used to, at my previous job, when I was working in the office, this is like pre-COVID, my coworkers used to measure how hard I was working by the number of swears per minute. They could tell I was like really into something if I was just like constantly swearing. Oh, Xylox, you haven't sworn in a while. You must not be working on anything too tough right now. And I'd be like, yeah, just normal stuff. But if I was like really deep into the weeds on something, ugh. Honestly, like some of these typos, if I were working in a, like if I were working in C Sharp would have, like Visual Studio would have told me that typo was incorrect, right? That you can't do an assignment there. If I need to account for spaces, I can just use /s. What's /s? I mean, I'm too invested in it this way, Jorstar, unfortunately. Call me, why don't I write in TypeScript if I like C Sharp? So the simple answer is I don't know what TypeScript is. Like, I understand what it is as a concept, but I'm a brand new JavaScript developer. So, like, I learned JavaScript. I have been learning JavaScript to play hackmud. So TypeScript is just, it's another thing that I don't know on top. So, like, I could start trying to do TypeScript, but I think that would, like, derail everything, because that would just basically be me learning TypeScript. That's the short answer. So I just don't know how. I'm not having a problem, like I don't mind, like, that I'm learning JavaScript the way it is, but it's just, yeah, some things that I just don't know how to do them in JavaScript yet. So, I mean, like, we're still getting the right answer. I just, the problem is that I don't understand why it's doing, it appears to be doing it more than once. Like, this one, it had a corruption character, so that's fine. Like, this is the weird thing. It seemed to do it... Why didn't this do it? That first attempt should have been successful. Well, menu parts is less than 4, which it is. I'm not logging anything else out here, am I? I am just logging G. I log the nav key here. While I go in here and I do while menus filter down is less than 3, which it is on the first, it should be 0. I'll call get menu parts. Okay, so I call E. I split the response by new line and log it. Menu parts is then the third element split by pipe, trimmed down to the non-empty entries, concatenated with the sixth element. Maybe I should log menu parts here also. Dot length. For 4 and 5. Five. Oh, because this one didn't have an empty element. Oh, God. That's another problem. If there's a corruption character in here, it'll grab 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my God. See, this is the stuff I'm having trouble with, Jorstar. It's not always like, is there a regex that would fix this? Almost as if you had a solution. All right, but if you're talking, like, in all fairness, I'm not saying that your thing doesn't work, Joestar. I'm saying that your regex is unreadable to me, right? Because my skill level is too low. And so I am against, just as a developer, pasting code in that I can't read. I don't do that, because I'll come back next week and I'll look at it and I'll be like, oops, I don't know how this works. Now I need to go find Joestar to explain it to me again, right? So like, my regex is getting there, but it's just not there yet. So I just, like, personally don't want to use that regex because I can't read it. Like, I don't know what /b does. I don't know what /s does. I'm assuming that array is the corruption character array as well. Like if I copy this in here, maybe I should just fucking learn it then. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe I should just learn it. If my excuse to not use it is that I don't know what it is, then maybe I should learn what it is and then I can use it. So, what is B? This is, I'm assuming, has to be stirred up match. And this would be response.match, I'm guessing. So, in this group, I want the B is a word boundary. Okay. It is matching. It's matching tildes, capital A to Z, and corruption characters. Okay, let's see what this does. Okay. Let's put the tilde on the... It has the color letter in it, yeah. So slice off the color letter. See, the problem is it's giving me org, and then it's giving me... It's chopping off the C off chart. This one is the one that accounts for spaces and corruptions. Whoa, man. Oh my god. Okay. So this is word boundary. What's /s? Is that a space? Then any space character. These are the corruption characters. Okay. No. That's not quite working either. What am I supposed to be doing with this result? Like, the array lengths are... inconsistent. Like sometimes it gives me org chart with calendar, and sometimes it gives me org chart and then an empty line and then calendar. So like I'm just starting to do a lot of this, right? I have to map, I have to trim, I have to filter out the empties. You only have a self-typed sample. Yeah, but I mean, like, that's the problem, right? Is that the regex is not the response we get from the tier 3 corporation is not predictable enough to have just a regex that you can apply to it. That's what all this extra work with splitting and checking number of elements and everything is about, because we need to wait until the response it actually is. No, there's an empty result there. That's not a consistent data set, right? It gave us core and then a space and then work. Like I have to, like I can do filter and filter out the empty responses. Like this does seem to be splitting out all of the pipes. So this is giving us like an array of values without pipes in them. Since it's regex by G, it looks for global, so it only gives back everything that it matches. Yeah. So because I'm not looking for pipes in that regex, it's not going to give me the pipes. That's fair too. What if I trim this also? See, why is it giving me this empty line? That's what I don't understand there. I'm mapping the slice of this off. I'm slicing the first character off, and then I'm doing a trim, and I'm filtering empty entries out. So how come I still get that? Something like 5 to get more than 5 characters at least. I don't have enough data though to know if the menu options have a minimum. I don't know what the minimum length is for the menu options. Like it could be cal, right? Could be one of the menu options. I don't have enough data to get that specific. I want at least these 3 options. Those 3 strings, as long as they're always in a consistent array position, I'd want more than 2 characters. Yeah, but I mean, like, this gave me more than 2 characters. It doesn't need to be perfect, Jorstar. It doesn't need to be, like, absolutely perfect. I don't want a one-line regex that does all the work for me. I don't want that. It's gonna be it's too much. It's too much for me. So, like, is it always 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? As long as it's always 3, 4, and 5, sometimes it'll give me junk after it. And then I can check each element in here in 3, 4, and 5 to make sure. So, like, this gives me... This is essentially Can I do, does that work? No. I suppose I just do splice, right? Starting at 0, 1, 2, 3 and counting for 3. Whoops. What? Splice is supposed to give me... That's supposed to be a count, isn't it? Starting at 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. And deleting 3 elements. How come that didn't do what I wanted it to do? Depends on the corruption. No, it should give me these 3 elements. Maybe I should do slice instead of splice. From 3 to... We'll just do 3. What the fuck is going on here? Are there new lines in here? Oh, yo. So it's not 3. So, okay. This is a better view of it anyway. Okay, so it's always elements 1, 2, and 3 that I want. Okay. One, and I want 2 and 3. I'd rather do splice because I want a length. So start at 1 and give me 3 elements. As long as this gives me 3 elements, this does all that pipe nonsense for me. I just don't want it exploding if like something goes wrong with a pipe. But this does appear to be working. Okay, so thank you, Joestar. That is better than all this splitting, and I don't have to worry about split characters being corrupted, which is what Smork was asking about. This is not totally unreadable for me now, because I just stopped being afraid of something I didn't understand. That was my big problem. So what I can do is I can make menu parts equal to this here. If I just do menu parts equal to this, while it is not equal to 3. Actually, it doesn't seem like I have to do a while loop at all. I should just be able to do this now, right? Okay, hold on. Let's undo some stuff. Let's just comment this out. And let's do that. Call E, and then do response.match.map .filter .splice. You hand type the sample. It's not flawless, but it seems closer than pipe splitting. It seems closer than pipe splitting, and it seems more predictable. So you hand type that sample into chat, Joestar, and you did a pretty good job with it. So, I mean, it seems to be working. That's the difference between your skill level at regex and mine. I would not be able to just like hand type a regex into chat. You did it on regex 101. I mean, still though, I would not be able to just like regex. There's a lot of these special characters that I don't fully understand or am comfortable with yet. Anyway, so we will do that. We're gonna credit for that, right? Credit where credit is due. So this should now be a little bit, hopefully, better behaved. So let's up this. Yeah. What did I do wrong there? So menu parts is going to be equal to this. There's no loop there anymore. If menu result is not null and its length is greater than or equal to 2, greater than 1, I should just say, menus at I is going to equal menu result at 1. When you have to scrape websites with regex, it gets fun. You've done enough with regex to have a basic understanding of it. Yeah, I've never had to do something like that before. I've only ever used regex to like check the format of a field. I've never done it to like parse a whole page worth of data or anything like that. That sounds nuts. I've never had to do anything like that before. So menu regex, so this is the smaller regex that's like, this is how I'm going to tell it's not corrupted. While menus filtering out the empty entries length is less than 3, we should get the menu parts and then attempt to fill in the non-corrupted menu options. Why is this not bailing? There's only one loop now. Response.match map. Like, we already split out the result of this, and that gave us what we wanted. Menu parts. What's going wrong here? So let's bail if we run out of time. Without websites like regex, you'd be lost. I mean, same. Yeah, I don't understand, because it definitely has found 3. Like, it found 3 right off the bat. 1, 2, 3. So what's the problem here? While the length is less than 3. Like... log the length. What am I doing wrong? Less than or equal to? The length is 0. How does that make any sense? If the menu result and the menu result is this, menus at I should be equal to the result. Is this part not getting hit? I need more logging. Menus at, let's log menus at I, and let's log menu result. I want to stringify this one because that's an object. Okay, let's try that. Something weird's happening with that section of code, I think. It's not populating my menus array the way that I wanted. Null, null, null. Null, null, null. Blank, null, blank, null, blank, null. So it's blank, which is fine. If it equals blank, it should come into here, which it does, because then it logs null. So menu regex. Is it because I didn't declare menu regex in the right spot? This should be leaded at scope. Yeah, another ad coming up in a minute here. Alright, let's run that and see if that made a difference. And then we'll take a short ad break. The fuck? I'm just going to keep working, but I'm going to be quiet while I try to figure out what's wrong here. You probably have to make a better regex when you have the actual samples. So Joestar, what happened there was that your regex you gave me was already stripping out the color characters, so my regex to detect a non-corrupt. So, yes, I think we're back from ad, right? I think. Let's check. Oh, I can't check that way. Doesn't matter. Okay, I think we're back. So, we're back. Okay. Oh, hey, Bokill. So I think, yeah. So Joestar, your regex was fine. It's stripping out the color codes already. So my old regex checking to make sure that the menu option itself was not corrupt was still anticipating the color code would be there. So that's what I had to fix to get that loop to work. Call me, you have a working decorruptor, so you ended up with a different regex. Just the menu item. I mean, that's helpful. My decorruptor, yeah, my decorruptor is too heavy-handed, I think, right now. So we're essentially writing like manual decorruption, but just tier 3 menu option specific decorruption is basically what we're doing here. So I still have this problem where it finds it on the first match and then it keeps going for some reason. Like menu parts, should be here. It should loop through all of them. They should all be true. It should fill them all in. And then menus.filter down to empty should be not 3 anymore. Like, I need to log this. So the first time it hits this, I need to actually do something more specific than this because it's just starting to all bleed together. I need to do menus.length here. So it's 0. It goes in, it's 2. Why is it 2? It had enough data to populate all 3. It came out of this. It came out of this for loop with only 2 out of 3 of them filled in for some reason. Even though it had enough data. So that's very odd. So what it should have done here is, let's do again another more specific. We're going to do menu at, we're going to put I in there, and then we're going to say this is equal to menus at I. So all of these should be empty on its first run through. Menu result. I type menus again. I am never going to be able to look at the word menu. Oh, Murloc, yeah, you saw it too. Thanks. I'm never going to be able to look at the word menu again. This word has lost all meaning. Menu result. Okay, logging the menu result, and then I want to log. Let's take this one. I want to log the menu result at 1. And then I want to log menus at I. Okay, menus length is 0. Menus at 0 is empty. The menu result is review, reviews. The whole string is reviews. The matching section is reviews. So it sets menu at 0 to reviews. Okay, great. Menu at 1. Menu at 1 comes down and it is empty, so it goes into the loop. The menu result is null. Why? Why? Reviews, org chart, calendar. Org chart didn't match. Calendar did, and reviews did. I come down here, I have reviews, org chart, calendar. It finds org chart that time. It's the exact same fucking string. Why? Why didn't it match at that time? Menus. Menu parts at I is menu parts at I. Let's see what that says. It's reviews, it finds reviews, it's good. Menu parts at 1 is org space chart, the result is null. This one says result is null. This one is fine. What the fuck is going on here? Why is this not matching it? What the fuck? Why is it not matching it the first time through? I don't need this anymore because that part is working. The rest of this is not working. Ah, man, what the fuck? Maybe there's some weird non-printable character in here. V org chart, that's fine. Then it says reviews org chart with a bunch of crap after it. That's fine. Then it does reviews org chart calendar. Look, it did it there again. Whoops, right-clicked by accident. There. Why is it doing that? Start of string. Letter, letter, letter. A space. Letter, 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 letter. End of string. Don't tell me to shut up on stream. That's mean. Anonymous. Junior Turtle. What am I missing here? This regex. Maybe I don't need G. I mean, I don't need G, because each one of these menus should now just be a single item. I don't think... Whoops. I don't think that'll make a difference. So, reviews, corrupted org chart calendar. It found reviews, it found org chart was corrupted, it found calendar. And the second one, it found org chart. Alright, do it again. Reviews org chart calendar on first attempt. That was the problem. I don't understand how /G works, I guess. I thought /G was supposed to continue matching after it finds one match to build a group, a list of groups, and for some reason, if you only have one element in there, I don't know what the hell was wrong with this thing. That doesn't make any sense to me based off my understanding of /G, but that does appear to have been the problem. It now, if it gets all three on the first shot, it has no problem now. That's kind of weird. Okay. Okay. Anyway, that appears to have fixed it. Weird, but whatever. That's weird. Okay. I'm trying to get a single value. Yeah, but wouldn't /G, wouldn't that just give me an array of 1? I don't know. Whatever. Using G where it's not needed can lead to unexpected things. Yeah. Alright, well, that was absolutely doing some unexpected things, so. Okay, so now we have, finally, God, now we have derived the navigation key and the 3 menu options. So the third one, now we have to parse the calendar. Oh my god, what a lot of work this has been. So we need to save the menu results now. So we will have a menus that we want to save, a menus array. So we will declare our menus array up here. We will support loading it from the token and saving it to the token. And we will do this if we time out in this while loop. We will save the continuation token. Otherwise, as soon as we bail out of here, we will save the continuation token. Now I don't want a while loop anymore. Now I want a for loop. Because I want to know, The calendar will be very similar, yes, and I believe we can probably use that same or similar regex that you gave that filters out the pipes. So that will be helpful. All right, so yeah, I think I need this to be in if menus.length is less than 3. So that way we don't run this all over again. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete all that. Okay, save continuation token, return logs. When we come out of here, we will then save the continuation token.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
Yeah, it's got electrolytes.
What
do.
are
I've got the rest of my
electrolytes?
coffee.
Do you even know? It's what they use to make Brondo.
Yeah, but why did they use them to make Brondo?
Because Brondo's got electrolytes.
Brondo's got electrolytes. Actually, I have a sip of water too. All right. That should save menus. I should now log menus. Cannot read property length of undefined. That would be this. I assume. I don't know why it couldn't do that. Stationing it to empty. Loading it from the... It's because I added it after I already had a token. So... Shit. I fucked this up. By having my token. I can't clear it out of my token. Crap. Alright, you know what? Let's take it for another test spin anyway. And we'll just start off from the beginning with no continuation token. And we'll see if it can grind all the way down on auto to the menu. So the pin here is 6753, so it's going to take a minute. We can see menus is blank and nav key is null, which is good. I should probably add a way to seed a value in here when I wipe out the continuation token. So that I can add support to seed a pin or, you know, seed any G property values when wiping the token. How close are we? 2000. Probably by the time I wrote that, I wouldn't need it again. But, yeah, I guess if a.g so if, I guess I could just put it here, else you wonder if the pin is always different per user or not? Yeah, I'm not sure. Like if the same user always has the same pin. I'm gonna say probably not. I'm imagining that it's generating, because like this user on this corp could have one pin, but then when another corp resets, that user would likely have a different pin for that corp. And then when this corp resets, it probably regenerates all of that. I don't think the users and pins... I mean, we don't know. We'd need a bunch more data, but... my guess would be no. That the pin is always different. Every time the corp shifts. So, else if a.g... So I should be able to seed a G in here by doing that, potentially. But we're almost there. So I'm just let it finish. You don't know? Yeah, I don't either. We need more data. It's the same with like the menus and the navigation keys. We don't know how many of them there could be. It could be something really evil, like it pulls them out of a dictionary, and the key could be literally any word like Magnara. And so you won't really be able to build a dictionary out of them. You'll have to scrape it. But scraping the nav key is not a lot of work. It seems to, like, on average, you call it once and you get the nav key. It's not often corrupted. So it doesn't really matter that much. Scraping the pin is the roughest part of this. Like, I haven't even been tracking how many runs at this it has to do. Okay, that's not working, clearly. So, what happened here? If menu's length is less than 3, sorry, menu's filter this length is less than 3. That's the problem. Fuck. Alright. But it does appear to work. Right? And now it should just do it. Yeah. Okay. So, we've got the menus. It appears as though the calendar, let's assume that the calendar is always the third one. So we'll log the menus. What I'd like to do here is nav key, just to be clear, because we might start accumulating a lot of stuff in here shortly. Joestar, in theory it should be? You mean in theory the keys should be different? Or in theory the calendar should always be the third entry? It seems to be anyway. We've only hit 2 corps, and the calendar has always been the third entry. So we could hit a 4th corp and check, but I don't know how long it will do that. So we're gonna, I'll just put, assume the third menu is assume the calendar menu is always the third entry. So we'll do g at nav key equals menus 2 e log response. What? There we go. It's always 2 dot lower. Okay. So now we want to get all these keys. You want your console to not close, but you want the process to keep happening. Like you want it to keep running after a loop. Is this your chat API stuff? Yeah, in C#. You have to have a while loop. You have to have an infinite while loop. Oh, append ampersand? I think appending ampersand will, if you're running it like exe, that will keep the thread open. But I think the problem is the thread is ending, because Joestar, if it's what I'm interpreting that to mean, is that you need a continuous while loop to keep the thread alive and pulling. But you want to make sure that you put a task.delay in there, or you'll just chew up your whole CPU by grinding away at your API. So you want to give it a reasonable sleep time, like 200 milliseconds or something. Otherwise, yeah, what Smork says is appending ampersand on, like if you're running it from the prompt, should keep the thread up on its own as a background task, I think. But that only matters if the task is actually going to... That's if you start it from exe and then you want to keep typing on the command prompt afterward. But Smork, I don't think that's what he was asking. Alright, so I should be able to regex this. Let's try regexing parts. Let's see what this gives us. If we just do response.match on the parts. What happens? No, that didn't quite work. They gave us a bunch of color codes and stuff. That gave us far too many entries. Yeah, this is all weird. It went all weird on us. You're just debugging. You need your timer events to fire and parse data. Yeah, while loop. You need a while loop on your polling. Or you need a form. If you have a Windows form and you start your polling thread on another, like start your polling logic on another thread, the form will stay open. But if it's just a console app, you'll have to have an explicit while loop to keep your thread alive. So I don't quite want this. I want I want to find anything that has space, something space. So I think I actually want a slight variation on this. What's /s again in regex? Any white space character. So how come this is not capturing? Maybe I'm not reading this correctly. A word boundary is also a space. Is it not? Why would you have a Windows form when you run it as a console? I'm saying that's you have an option to do that, to keep your thread open. And you would do that if you're trying to test your API library, right? You need to write an app as well, like a test app that then uses your chat API. Because your chat API shouldn't just run on its own indefinitely, right? It should be up to the implementer to decide when to start and stop it. Seems like your timer events are not firing. What are you using for the timer? Are you using windows.forms.timer? Or are you using a stopwatch? The lib runs the timers though, using timers.timer. The console app should decide when to stop. Your timer events are not firing. Is your whole chat API in a while loop? In an infinite while loop? You should have an infinite while loop, and the while loop only breaks when your cancellation token gets canceled. Otherwise, you'll start your timer, and then you keep running, and you'll run to the end of your thread and end, and your timer gets disposed. So you need the timer to be alive in an infinite while loop to keep your worker thread open. Because otherwise, as soon as your thread ends, all its resources are disposed. Any timers and everything, they won't continue to exist. They'll all get thrown out with the scope. What I actually just want, I want something simpler here. What I want is, the calendar doesn't appear to suffer from corruption. So I should just be able to say I want a space, right? A space and a space. I want to capture any lowercase alphanumeric characters or digits. And I want 6 of them. Right? That should work. Whoops. Perfect. Except now I want this to be in a group. Okay, maybe not that part. Map x.trim. There we go. That was pretty good. Currently you have this. Let's go look at that. Let's go look at this, George Star. So you get your token, you set up a chat client. While it's true, you do thread sleep. Kitty, what are you doing? Where are you? Hi, come here. Come here. So you init your client with your user. Then you do while true, thread sleep. You don't do anything in here though. What are you expecting to happen in this while loop? You have an on chats failed. You wonder if the chat API failed. So, so your on chats received will write to the console. Timers get started by init. Yeah, you need a yield in here. Thread.sleep pauses execution. Like this line stops execution here for 1 second and then goes here. You don't have any yielding of this thread, right? This is a static main entry point. Yeah, you need some kind of do events in here. A pause in here to do the other processing. Otherwise, you're basically, this is just sleeping forever. And it won't yield to any other tasks that need to be done on the thread, I don't think. I would try what Smork suggested there and see if that helps. So I have a calendar entries now. I'll just call them cal entries. I know what that means. That's a one-liner. So cal entries, I can also put that into the token. Save continuation token. Cal entries is cal entries. Cal entries equals ct.cal entries. I find the cal entries. I save a continuation token with notify false. Log cal entries. Console read line instead. That will also pause the thread, yes. Because it pauses a thread until the user presses the enter key. So you have to think about it as you have a main thread and then child threads, right? While the main thread is doing something, you can spawn off a child thread which can do something else in the background. But unless you have like you're not awaiting anything in here, so you're not checking for the other thread to do something. Console.writeLine, I'm not so sure because this handler is on your main thread. You need I think like what Smork suggested. I don't do multi-threaded console apps. I've never written a multi-threaded console app before. So I think like with having this handler here, I think you need somewhere to yield on the main thread is what I think. And what Smork type should do that yielding. The way the chat works is kind of needed. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you need child threads, absolutely. And writing it onto the console is your test app, right? But you need a way to yield to the child thread to do a console, to write to the console, I think. All right, so I have all of those. So now for each one of these, actually I can do for of, right? For let entry of cal entries. G dot I equals entry E and then log response. This should spit out all of the responses for all of the entries. So we'll log the entry and then we'll log the response. That should work. There we go. Oh man, that's a lot of junk. They all appear to be the same length, which is nice. Wait, that one's not the same length. Okay, actually I think what I need to do here is let's do that. Sorry. Do that. Nope. 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 Ugh. Yeah, they're not the same length at all. Jesus. That was a lot of work. That was a lot of work. But at least we've got that part automating, right? So we've got it so that it's dumping all the entries out. All right. Got that figured out. So, not really any closer to an answer on this, though. I think maybe do that just for give it a bit of breathing room. Okay, that's better. So we have a bunch of encrypted strings and they're not the same length. They don't start or end with the same characters. That's rough. That's really rough. I don't know what the fuck to do with that. I don't know what to do with this at all. Oh man. Like I might have to read a bit on encryption theory, unfortunately. I don't know anything about encryption. So like if this some custom encryption algorithm, I don't even understand how to write a custom encryption algorithm. So understanding how to break a custom encryption algorithm is also beyond my knowledge. So I might have to do an exercise in writing my own encryption algorithm so that I understand how they work. What does it do and what I have no fucking idea. No fucking idea. Okay. A lot got done here to at least automatically parse all this. So I think what I'd like to do, let's run this on another tier 3 and see if this scraping script that we've written can handle going through another one from start to finish and get all the calendar entries. So let's start light.internal. Okay, and we'll just let this run, and hopefully it'll get through. Now, we don't have like a break condition in here, so when we see it spit out all the calendar entries, we'll have to just stop automatically. But this should ideally get all the way there on its own. This is rough. This is pretty rough. So it will probably be less code than the QR reader was, but I don't know if it'll be shit. Is that because it found the pin and then something else got stuck? Oh, that's not good. What is it getting stuck on? I suppose I have to do maybe it's getting stuck somewhere else here. Maybe it's getting stuck in here. This should be wrapped in I have a cal entries array, right, that I'm saving. So I think I should only be doing this if my cal entries length is equal to 0. Give myself 1 second to do that part. Then give myself another second to do this part. I wonder which part of this it choked on. What the fuck is it having problems with? You're wondering if the way to break it is hidden in lore, or if it's just something you have to trial and error. I don't know. I don't know if anyone here has broken SHA encryption yet. I know Flux was giving me some guidance on last stream on getting through this stuff, and Flux has said that they do not have SHA encryption broken yet either. I gotta figure out where this thing is breaking. It's running out of time somewhere, so if the menus is being saved, right? Yeah, menus being saved. So it should be doing that again, unless it's running out of time doing the menus, but I should be bailing myself. I don't actually know what's going on here. How far did I get? Have I found the pin yet? Maybe I haven't even found the pin yet and it's stuck somewhere weird. Maybe I should do a check here. Hacktix surely has. Happy to give a starting hint if you ever hit a hard wall. Yeah, I'm not. I don't even know where to start on encryption. Just in general, I don't really understand encryption, so I'll have to do some reading on encryption. Right now, I don't understand why my script is timing out. It's timing out somewhere weird. Where is it timing out? Okay, I think I have to start this over again. Jesus. Hacktix was lurking. Now your name is mentioned. What did you miss? Bokill said that that both you and Bokill have figured out SHA encryption. So I think maybe I think I misread. I may have misspoke when Bokill wrote that message, and I may have thought that it was you, Hacktix. I got confused. That was speaking. But you've both cracked SHA encryption, yeah. Do you know if the key, like, is the key in lore, like Jorstar was asking? Like, should I, like, maybe on next stream I should switch over to do some lore-based things? Because I need data check v3 answers too. Or is the SHA encryption stuff just like its own thing that you just have to figure out? Man, this thing is slow. Wow. It doesn't have anything to do with lore. Okay. What did I get to last time? Like 1596 or something when it started breaking. Man, this corp is having a hard time. Having a hard time. We're almost out of time today, so this might be as far as we get right now. It'd be nice if I could just see the thing work correctly on another corp though, instead of this new timeout issue that we're having, running from start to end. There's likely just some overlap somewhere in between one of my solves where it doesn't have enough time. I'm not leaving the script enough time to breathe in between. So we should be getting close to where we broke last time. Okay, we got past it, so I'm not sure what the hell happened. There we go. So it did find the pin and then it broke. Like, can I just return logs here? What is the problem? What the fuck is wrong here? Something really bad has happened, and I'm not sure what. Didn't find the user. It did find the user. 1610 appears to be the pin. Log pin found. False. So it should keep going with the pin. Like user found is true, obviously. Yeah. Pin found is false, so it should come in here. Pin found. Let's call limit E here, -14. Log the response, and then spit out logs. Incorrect pin. Okay. So it should keep going. It can't seem to... This doesn't seem to be protecting it from timing out for some wild reason. Maybe the incorrect response can be corrupted. That's what the limit E is supposed to be doing. It's supposed to call until this slice of the string. So I have like a limited, so limit E stands for limited decorruption. So limited decorruption is supposed to do repeat calls until the particularly given slice of the response is uncorrupt. So it should just call it like once or twice. Like here, it did incorrect pin, and that was fine. So it should then continue to it should continue to go until that doesn't say incorrect pin anymore. But in this for loop, there is a check for whether or not it can continue running, and this doesn't seem to be working. It should give it a full 2 seconds, and it doesn't seem to be stopping it from timing out, which is really crazy to me. Like, I don't understand why it's having such a hard time with this. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, what's my pin attempt? $16.10. So it should go to 16.11 next. Log the CT. Yeah, I could just log the whole CT, I guess. Ah. G, Robert Marley, pin 1610, user found true, pin found false. Pin attempt 1610. So it should just keep going. For the next, it should do 1611. It's just blowing up. Why is it blowing up there? Maybe the corp shifted? No, because the other stuff's still working, right? Like, I'm getting light corp. I don't have protection in here for whether or not it's shifted. So that is something that I should put in here. To do check for corp existence. But that's not the problem here. It just enters this loop and then dies, even though in here I'm checking to see whether or not I have 2 seconds remaining on my runtime. I don't understand what the fucking problem is here. How am I running out of time? How am I running out of time? How have I not handled this timeout in this section of code? It's not making it to here. How did I run out of time here? I skip this. I load the token, I skip the user found stuff. I go straight into the pin starting at 1610. And it just fucking fails. Why am I not detecting that 2 seconds of runtime left? It could be in limit E, doing limited decorruption, but the limited decorruption shouldn't. Like, I guess I should have a time in here too. If it can't continue anymore, just break, I guess. Pin found 1616. Oh, that boils my frogs. I don't know what the hell happened there. It couldn't get through 6 in 5 seconds. The fuck was it getting here? Is that what just happened? No, because now it's just bailing. So, what the fuck? Is it returning something that's not what I'm expecting? Like, my limited decorruption is looking for it to not be incorrect pin. Like, maybe I should log the response here. That's going to give me too many responses. Maybe I should log the response if it's not equal to incorrect pin. I don't fucking understand what I'm supposed to be doing here. Do I have some early return logs in here still? Not before this. I have this bailing if there's less than a second left. Because this is going until the section it's asking for does not have a corruption character in it. And it didn't right here. But for some reason it kept going. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on here. It doesn't matter because I should have this here anyways. It doesn't matter. I should have that in there anyway because it's in every single infinite loop like that, I should have a return checking for the runtime. So maybe there was something weird happened there. It couldn't, I don't know. Return some sentinel value from limited decorrupt. If there was corruption, the regex might fail. It'll think the pin was correct on timeout. Incorrect pin. So limit E. Yeah, like I guess I should have, if limit E, maybe this returns a Boolean value. Like it returns a value whether or not it timed out instead of finding uncorrupted text. If it's not corrupt, return true instead of just breaking. Otherwise, return false. Maybe we can do that instead. So if we run at a time, it returns false. Otherwise, it returns true because it decorrupted it. And then everywhere that I'm calling limit E, I have to do if limit E and. So if that's true, not percent, and what am I doing? If limit E is true, it'll do this. Otherwise, if it's false, it'll check its runtime, which will also be false because the limit in here was 1 second. That might do it. Do the same thing here. If limit E of -14 and incorrect pin is not found. That should do it. Actually, what I should do is stop this for a sec. Okay, this is the last snooze that I've got. And then I'm going to have to end stream. I want to end my early return condition here. Did I already get rid of it? I think I did. Okay. Never mind then, we're okay. We'll just keep going. Takes so long sometimes. These public corps in tier 3. They're just really, really slow. Come on, I'm getting hungry. Holy crap. Ugh. Okay, got to 1616. Is that the pin? Now what is its problem? It's stuck on 1616. Okay, why is it stuck on 1616? Is pin found true? Pin found is false. So let's log the response. Something weird came back in the response, I think. What the fuck is that? Oh. Holy fuck. The menu can come back. Dude, that menu is like censored. Holy shit. Wow, there. Wow. 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 Fuck. Oh my god. Wow. Alright, well that explains why all my regexes are having trouble. Holy fuck, man. That's rough. Alright, well that's a fucking problem. Oh shit. Okay. That's a big problem. Issue. Menu is not always formatted the same way. For example, this horrible shit. Oh man. Wow. This is the snow one. Yeah, it looks like it, right? Light Corp is one of the snow Corp pages. And yeah, it looks like they have a bunch of underscores. So the nice thing is that it's probably as simple as, like, if I copy this, let's just go and check this manually. I bet this is like act and then week. No. Yo, I don't even know what that is. It could be act. Boss. Try just A underscore T. B underscore. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so underscore. Wow, so underscore is the actual key name. That's cool. Just put the values in as given. Yeah, they're not corrupt. Okay. Okay. Anyway. It might just be as simple as looking for underscores. But there's something in here that I'm using to detect the pin that's not bailing correctly, or maybe it's failing on the nav key. Whatever. We're out of time for today, so yeah, I'll just where did I put that note? Issue menu is not always formatted the same way. To do handle underscores in the key and menu text. Regexes. Okay. All right. That's where we'll pick up. Actually, I'm probably going to do a little bit of this on my own time, but we'll have to just continue along this path as we as we work on this on the next stream on Tuesday. It'll be our next hackmud regular stream, because like the encryption stuff, I might have to go to encryption school, honestly, and maybe some people in chat can give me hints or not for next time. But yeah, I don't want to end on an ad here, so we're gonna call it there for now. So thanks everyone for coming by and hanging out with me today. Thank you for the new followers that I got. Call me and Trilater, thanks for coming in from YouTube and giving me follows and coming and hanging out. Thank you Hacktix and Call Me for your Prime subs as well. Okay, and thanks George Star for all your help with regexes. Regex is still tough for me. All right, great stream today. Thanks Bokill, I appreciate that. Okay, thanks everyone for coming by, hanging out. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend and a great next week, and I hope to see you on the next stream. Okay, take care, have a good one everyone. Bye.